Imagine this: you wake up tomorrow and something is slightly off. Not dramatic, not apocalyptic, just different. Gravity is weaker, not gone, just softened, like the world has decided to loosen its grip on everything, including you. At first, you don't notice it. You sit up in bed, and your body feels lighter, not in a good sleep kind of way, more like your bones forgot how heavy they're supposed to be. You stand, and for a split second, your feet hesitate to meet the ground. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable, but your brain notices, because your brain is obsessed with predictability. Every movement you've ever made, every step, every reach, every breath, is based on one silent agreement: gravity will always be there. And now, that agreement has been slightly broken. You walk to the kitchen. Your footsteps are quieter, softer, almost like you're tiptoeing without trying. You grab a glass. It feels wrong, not lighter exactly, but less committed to being in your hand. You let go of it, just slightly, and for a brief moment, it doesn't fall, it just hesitates, like it's thinking about it. Then it slowly drifts down. Not a drop, a decision. Outside, the world is beginning to notice. Leaves don't fall the way they used to. They hover, dance, linger in the air, like they've suddenly gained more time to exist. A child jumps and stays in the air just a little too long. Not enough to panic, just enough to feel magical or unsettling, depending on how you look at it. Now, here is the quiet truth. Gravity isn't just what keeps us on the ground. It's what keeps everything structured. The air you breathe, held close to Earth by gravity. The oceans, carefully draped over the planet like a liquid blanket. Even your blood flows the way it does, partly because gravity pulls it. When gravity weakens, everything begins to renegotiate its place. Air starts to behave differently, not immediately, but slowly, subtly. The atmosphere begins to expand. It drifts outward, like a sigh the planet has been holding for billions of years. Breathing feels the same at first, but over time, the air becomes thinner, not dramatically, just enough that your body starts to notice. You take slightly deeper breaths, without realizing why. The oceans begin their own quiet rebellion. Waves become strange. They rise higher, float longer, crash softer. Tides change. The moon still pulls on the water, but now Earth holds on less tightly. So the oceans stretch further, like they're trying to reach something they almost remember. Coastlines shift, not violently, but inevitably. And then there's you. Your body is built for a very specific gravity. Muscles, bones, even your inner ear, all calibrated for this exact pull. When that pull weakens, your body starts to adapt. At first, it feels amazing. You're lighter, faster, jumps feel effortless. Running feels like a dream where you can almost fly. But over time, your muscles begin to relax too much. Your bones slowly lose density because your body is efficient. And it asks a simple question: why maintain strength if it's no longer needed? Your sense of balance begins to shift. That tiny system in your inner ear that tells you which way is up starts to get confused, because up and down aren't as strict as they used to be. You might feel slightly dizzy, like the world is gently tilting, even when it's perfectly still. And then, something even stranger happens. Human behavior changes, because physics doesn't just shape the world, it shapes how we think. When the world feels heavier, we move with intention, we conserve energy, we stay grounded. But when the world becomes lighter, people become bolder, more playful, less anchored. You might see people jumping more, climbing higher, taking risks they wouldn't before, because subconsciously, falling doesn't feel as final. Cities would change. Architecture, designed for a stronger gravity, suddenly becomes overbuilt. Buildings don't need to be as rigid. Structures could become taller, thinner, more elegant. Stairs feel different. Elevators feel slower than just jumping. Sports evolve. Basketball becomes something entirely new. Players don't just jump, they glide. Moments in the air stretch, turning seconds into something closer to silence. But there's a limit, because if gravity continues to weaken, there's a threshold, a quiet line once crossed. Things stop returning. An object you drop might not come back down. The atmosphere might slowly drift away. The oceans might begin to escape, not in waves, but in particles, a slow unraveling, and Earth becomes less of a home and more of a memory in progress. But we're not there yet. Right now, gravity is just a little weaker, just enough to notice, just enough to wonder. You step outside again. You take a deep breath. You bend your knees. and jump, and for a moment, longer than any moment you've ever felt before, you are suspended, not falling, not rising, just existing in between. And maybe that's the strangest part of all, not the physics, not the oceans or the air or the shifting earth, but that brief, quiet feeling of being slightly disconnected from the ground and realizing how much of your life was built on something you never even thought about. Gravity was always there, silent, invisible, unquestioned until it wasn't. And now, as you slowly drift back down, you can't help but feel that the world is still the same, but also completely different. Sleep well, because tomorrow, the ground might feel just a little farther away.